Africa Credential Registrars PLC, one of the leading share registration service providers in Nigeria, has put smiles on the faces of its shareholders by declaring a dividend of 35 kobo per share. The company made the declaration at its maiden edition of its annual general meeting in Lagos. Our correspondent, BC Coca, reports.
Africa Credential Registrars PLC listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange in January 2013. A year and 3 months later, shareholders of the company and members of the board gather for the company's first annual general meeting. For the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Peter Ashade, remarkable achievements, which include the commissioning of a new office complex recently, is simply not enough. There's still more to come.
We have various areas that we spend money in terms of IT, and because what we are looking at is, going forward, we want to create a platform that will enable you to deal with us even without coming, in terms of service delivery, because we believe technology is very key to drive our processes for efficient service delivery.
And for the declaration of a dividend of 700 million naira, which comes to 35 kobo per share for shareholders, this is the reaction.
They have already made history. This is a company that shareholders are very proud of because we want to return our investment. And investment we have less than 1 year. I mean, let me say by 1 year, and we have this kind of return. It's very, very awesome, and it's a welcome thing.
It means a very fantastic and very good performance of the company. It shows that the board management have worked hard enough, and there is prospects in the company for future investments.
Africa Credential Registrars PLC is a technology-driven capital market investment mediator which specializes in qualitative, customer-friendly service delivery for corporate organizations in the primary and secondary sectors of the capital market. BC Coca, Channels Television News.
Stockbrokers at the local bourse are beginning to react to the rebasing of the gross domestic product. They say that the new figures now describe the representation of the capital market in the economy as contributing only 15% to the GDP. According to the analysis, this figure is against the usual record of over 20%. Our correspondent, Temple Ashaju, reports.
Before the rebasing of the gross domestic product's GDP data, the contribution of the Nigerian capital markets to the economy was in the range of 20%. But following the statistical adjustment, the stockbroker explains how the capital market now has a faint representation in the economy.
The capital market, by virtue of its market capitalization, has now diminished to 15%. Because the rebased GDP has increased to about $510 billion US. And whereas the market cap of the capital market is around between 70 and 75 billion US.
Describing the effects of the statistical decline on the market, he recommends the listing of the commanding sectors of the economy at the bourse.
Take, for instance, the telecommunications sector, which has materially contributed now to the rebased GDP, is underrepresented. There should be conscious effort of the managers of the economy, either through legislation or through incentives, to compel the listing of major enterprises.
The market capitalization of the stock exchange is currently 12.39 trillion naira. Analysts now hold that the integration of the telecoms companies and oil firms in the GDP should be replicated in the capital markets. Temple Ashaju, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the market closed in the negative territory today, down by 0.22%. Temple Ashaju tells us more.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Trading activities at the Nigerian equities market was lull as key indicators opened the week down by 0.22% to close at 38,626.11 with a lower market capitalization of 12.38 trillion naira. USA Properties was Monday's top decliner, stripping 1 naira 16 kobo off its share value. Other laggards include Lafarge Wapco and Stanbic IBTC. On the gainers list, Nigerian Breweries added 1 naira 94 kobo to its share price to emerge Monday's top gainer ahead of Honeywell Flour and Zenith Bank. NEM Insurance, Zenith Bank and Guarantee Trust Bank were major contributors to the market volume. And at the end of the market session on Monday, total volume recorded stood at 101.20 million units, all in 4,127 deals. And that's it on Stock Market Report. I am Temple Ashaju.
Thanks a lot, Temple. And that's Business News tonight. The news at 10 continues in just a moment.
First Bank.
Time now for sports news with Charles Eruka.
Thanks, Bimbo. Welcome to Sports News. The Nigeria Chess Federation has invited 50 players for the first stage of trial to pick players that will represent their country at the 41st World Chess Olympiad in Tromsø, Norway in August this year. The list comprises 30 male and 20 female players based on performance ratings and all the 6 gold medalists at the last National Sports Festival held in Lagos. The first stage of the trials will come up at the Media Center National Stadium in Lagos from April the 23rd to the 25th. In football, Chelsea will look to score at least 2 goals when they host Paris Saint-Germain in their second leg of the Champions League quarter-final at Stamford Bridge tomorrow night. The London side, who lost 3-1 in the first leg, came back from a similar situation on their way to winning the title in 2012 as they lost 3-1 to Napoli away from home before winning 4-1 in the return leg to go through to the next round. Meanwhile, Borussia Dortmund striker Robert Lewandowski has returned from suspension for the Champions League quarter-final second leg against Real Madrid. Lewandowski, who has scored 6 goals in this season's competition, will be looking to help the German side overturn a 3-0 deficit. In tennis, German star Andrea Petkovic remembers why she started playing tennis and along the way gave everyone else a reminder that she is so talented when she is at her best. Petkovic, who fell from 9th in the world in 2011 to 177th 2 years later, capped a stunning run to the Family Circle Cup title on Sunday. It's back to Bimbo with the rest of the news at 10.
Thank you, Charles. As Rwanda remembers the 800,000 people who were killed in genocide in the space of 100 days, the UN says it is ashamed about its failure to prevent the 1994 genocide in Rwanda. The UN Secretary General made the statement while addressing thousands of people in the capital, Kigali. Here's Cynthia Are with more.
During the ceremony, many people were overcome by emotions and some of them suffered fits. 800,000 people were killed by the Hutu extremists when the genocide took place in Rwanda. The killings ended in July 1994 when the Rwandan Patriotic Front, a Tutsi-led rebel movement, marched into Kigali and seized control of the country. Rwanda's President Paul Kagame and Mr. Ban lit a torch which will burn for 100 days, and that's the length of time the genocide lasted. Then an emotional Oscar Pistorius has apologized to the family of girlfriend Riva Steenkamp on the first day of his evidence at his murder trial. In a shaky voice, he said he was trying to protect her and said he could not imagine what the family was going through. Plus, media organizations are renewing a call for the release of 3 Al Jazeera journalists who've been held for 100 days since being arrested in Egypt. The trio went on trial in February and were accused of spreading false news and aiding a terrorist group. They deny those charges, labeled by Al Jazeera as absurd. Also today, it's unfortunate, but the Ebola virus seems to be spreading. A girl was the first suspected case in Ghana of Ebola, which has killed more than 90 people in Guinea and Liberia. Medical charity Médecins Sans Frontières has warned of an unprecedented epidemic in an impoverished region with weak health services. Finally, pro-Russian protesters who seized the regional government building in the Ukrainian city of Donetsk are reported to have declared a People's Republic. The rebels have called for a referendum on secession from Ukraine by the 11th of May. Ukrainian security officials are being sent to the eastern cities of Donetsk, Luhansk, and Kharkiv after pro-Russia groups occupied government buildings today. And those are the top stories on the foreign scene.
Now let's join Mayowa Ogundele for entertainment news.
On entertainment, multiple award-winning singer Two-Face Idibia wowed fans and music lovers in his home state capital city, Makurdi, with scintillating performances alongside international singer Bridget Kelly of Rock Nation. The two singers joined other sensational artists, including M.I, Tiwa Savage, Wande Cole, and Timaya for the Trek concert in the city. After a successful original fashion event in December 2013, Nigerian fashion industry heavyweights, including Maya Atafo Kumbi Oyelese of April by Kumbi, Warabi Martha of Catwalk, will be judging and mentoring young fashion enthusiasts in the original expression show. The show is aimed at discovering and promoting young and talented fashion-forward undergraduates in universities across Nigeria. On to new music now. High life and hip-hop music sensation Flavor Nabania has released a new music video, Black is Beautiful, off his album, Blessed. The new video, which showcases the happy faces of a host of beautiful black women from different walks of life, is directed by Trademark Pictures.
Your black is America, and your black is Nigeria. Your black is beautiful.
Now, on the foreign scene, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the sequel to Marvel's 2011 film about the red, white, and blue superhero, smashed its way to $96.2 million in ticket sales over the weekend, setting a new record for an April release and speeding past last week's winner, Noah. Noah, starring Russell Crowe as the biblical figure, was second with $17 million in ticket sales over the weekend, and the dystopian action film Divergent was third with $13 million for a total of $114 million since its March 21st release in US and Canadian theaters.
Follow me.
And that's all on entertainment. Thank you for watching.
And the main news again. The federal government has concluded plans to scrap Fiscal Responsibility Commission as recommended in the Steve Onrosanye's report, but rejects merger of EFCC, ICPC and Code of Conduct Bureau. That brings us to the end of the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Do keep your date again tomorrow. I'm Bimbo Oloyede. Bye for now.